Enigma falls behind.
Yeah.
And so that's the big point of contention for this TSM lineup I see. I mean, of course they might destroy this Ursa lane, but I think it's unlikely.
We're also left in a similar situation to yesterday, even though different roles. Once again, a captain and leading voice in the team is going to be playing this big team fight hero in Enigma. And unfortunately, Moo did not have a very good time playing that Enigma yesterday. And we'll see if Moon Meander is able to fare a little bit better.
He did not. He did recover, and he had some decent holes later on. In terms of this game, it's another one of those games where the black holes are pretty free once he has BKB. I mean, you have this egg, but egg is not always a reliable hole answer, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to cancel a hole early on with egg. It's usually a counter action. You take the long fight with Sunray heal. Phoenix is, it's a decent counter to Enigma in some sense, but at the same time, it does support Enigma with free holes. So Moon can be very impactful this game if he gets the farm. He gets scaling. This is a scary lineup, I think, for Quincy to fight into late game. That's how I would see it. Like, Dawn, Enigma, Puck, Ursa. It's basically 4 cores, and then you have a Wyvern on the back end of it that there isn't a huge amount of gap close for Quincy. He's going to start burning some people late game.
Sounds to me like those early side lanes are going to be important. It's all going to start off with trying to go for bounty runes. TSM. It is going to be a 2-2 split, and no major damage done on either side. But it does sound like the side lanes for Quincy crew anyway. If they're afraid of going late game against this lineup, they kind of want to do well in these side lanes. And if they do well enough in the side lanes, they could secure Roshan for their TA. As opposed to if this lane, particularly this Radiant safe lane, goes poorly, this could be an Ursa that, like you talked about in the draft, takes the Roshan away from Quincy crew early, and they get the early momentum.
Yes, I think anytime you play this Marcy dueling, you really want the Marcy lane to go well. I don't think Marcy's a hero that, if you're playing this aggressive style dueling, you want to go even or worse. I think you feel slightly bad. I think you want to abuse the fact this hero is a pretty powerful laner, especially with a fast level 2. Like, the fact Mojo's already pulling waves, it's okay with a Timber, it's not amazing. The one upside, though, is because it's a Timber, you can play to just get this guy level 3 and leave him alone, and gank mid or your safe lane. That's the other strength of Marcy, is the TP gank potential, a la the Earth Spirit roll. Puck is pretty hard to gank mid, though, and top is... it's okay to gank, at the same time it's an Enigma lane. So he's just going to be denying and potentially jungling here. So this is my big question mark, is what is Mojo's game plan with this Marcy? Does he want to just play the dueling and try and pressure this Ursa? Or is his plan to leave it pretty early?
Yeah.
My intuition says you just play the dueling here and try and kill this Ursa with, like, the early Timbersaw nuke damage.
This is ours.
I don't think you want to give Ursa free farm in this game.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I also think it's probably better to secure your Timbersaw's game a little bit more. Just, yeah, I mean, even if he does get that free level 3, I still feel like his CS might get shut down if he's solo against an Ursa.
I tend to agree. I also think you're going to feel better going into this mid-late game if your Timbersaw's, like, very high net worth.
Yeah.
We're talking, like, carry Timber route. I don't think you play utility Timber too much in this game. I think you need to be a high damage threat, along with your Kunkka carry picking up some of the utility catch slack. Like, that's how I picture this draft going down.
Mid lane matchup, we have a classic NA mid lane happening right here. Bryle versus Quinn. We've seen this matchup 1,000 times, and we're probably going to see it 1,000 more, considering the fact that these two are both on teams that are the top dogs of North America right now. And this is supposed to be a matchup that Templar Assassin wins, right?
He does pretty well, and yeah. I think Bryle's playing it pretty well.
Yeah, he is.
He's up in CS and denies. Not that easy for a Puck going up against the significantly higher base damage here. Maybe Quinn didn't eat his Wheaties this morning? I don't know, you know? Maybe he just needs to warm up.
I mean, is that actually? I know you're just kind of joking, but is that actually the kind of player that Quinn is? Like when it comes to playing at these lands and qualifiers.
I don't know what kind of cereal he eats, man.
Not the cereal. I'm saying performance.
I mean, usually Quinn warms up. He goes on Reddit. He reads a couple Reddit posts that infuriates him, and then he's all good to go.
It gets the
then
blood
his energy
pumping,
levels,
right?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And his energy levels are an all-time high. You know, maybe he boots up the old Twitch channel, reads some chat, bans some people. So,
yeah.
No, he usually warms up pretty decently, and I'm sure he's in fine condition today.
Moon Meander and Fodder are having a weird little brawl here in the jungle. Eidolons versus Fire Spirits.
Oh my god, his Eidolon bashed. Died though. Ogre Bruisers out in full force in these games. Let me tell you that.
Watch out for those guys. You don't pay attention. Next thing you know, you've been stunned for like 3 seconds.
Seems like Saberlight's just chilling though. Double Bracer, pretty much full CS. Power of these Enigma Denies adding up. Fada is getting some pulls, which is pretty much all you can do on this lane. There's not too much aggressive potential versus the tanky Saber Chad Dawnbreaker, which means Moon is going to be able to play greedy here and jungle it up. And this seems like a decent recipe for TSM this game. Like, they're going to win the economic war early. Mojo's just been pulling waves. They don't feel like they can pressure this Ursa. Though Timber's getting a decent amount, but again, I feel like the Ursa free farm is the big key here for TSM, because he is going to be a powerhouse in this game. I don't see a lot stopping his, like, 15 to 20 minute mark.
So would you want, like I was trying to think of like, how do you, if you're not going to do it through the lanes, how are you going to shut this Ursa down? Do you want to see like an early Yawar rotation down to bottom lane? Like he picks up 6 and goes and ganks Tomato?
Maybe? He is pretty high level. It could be something interesting.
Quinn, he's going to be caught in the coil with a double support rotation, so they're going to quickly burn through that refraction. He's given the extra movement speed with the Fairy Fire as well. Quinn is back to safety behind his tier 1 tower. Bryle was going to be spared some damage there thanks to Dubu's Cold Embrace, but I do have to wonder if he had gotten a second level in one of these abilities, if they'd gotten the kill on Quinn.
I don't know. He was pretty healthy. I think that's just a hard go attempt. Quinn on his hill. TP rotation comes in from Mojo, who will interrupt some of that. Dubu snags the rune on the back end. This is a classic TSM Quincy, 6 heroes in mid for the 6-minute rune. Both of these teams very much prioritizing power runes for their mids.
Power runes for their mids, and I feel like TSM especially really likes pressuring that mid tower nice and early. Which here they're not going to be able to because they didn't get the kill on TA, but I wouldn't be surprised to see more rotations from Moon Meander in the future.
Yuru's lurking, they still have a catapult. Like you said, TSM almost never give up this mid catapult if they don't have to. Fada will drag it off, so...
Somebody tank for it, it's going to die. Another coil's going to be used, this time to kill Fada. And actually, First Blood goes to Saberlight. And Fada somehow survives through all of it. So bottom lane looks like use the Solar Guardian. Back over to mid, it looks like Dubu is going to be caught. You are rotated over. Spots Dubu, and with the X should be able to give the kill away to Quinn.
A little half damage on this tower. Forced the Kunkka rotation. Like you said, the First Blood went to Saberlight bottom. With that Donald, then TP's back top, so it doesn't cost him much in terms of map control. Ursa forced into the jungle from the Timbersaw 6. Kind of the inevitability here.
An advantage that Quincy crew might be able to keep is the fact that, I mean, pressuring a carry Kunkka is pretty tough, so he might be able to hold this tower up. We'll see. They're going to try and put a little damage on him now. Yuar is fine, but he might think better of sticking around here.
These are some beefy cores for Quincy early. In terms of where's the damage coming from TSM, they really need levels on their supports for the damage to come out. Yeah. Extra Arctic Burn levels, extra Eidolon Strength, and a Midnight Pulse.
No,
nice coil.
Fada, he tried. I don't even think he would have actually made it. I think he was too far away to snatch away the power rune. But a cute choice that does get him caught by the quick reactions of Bryle.
Yeah, I mean, this has been coil off cooldown.
Yeah, it
Rapid
has.
coil usage. So some extra gold going Puck's way. Quincy's still decently ahead in terms of the average core net worth a little bit.
Is under attack.
I was gonna say by a decent amount, but honestly, it's pretty close after the first blood went to Saberlight. That helped him a lot.
Oh, it's gonna go a little bit more in the favor of Quincy
Dire's
Crew
top
soon
tower is under
if
attack.
this tower is gonna be totally given up.
Radiant's
But TSM
bottom
FTX
tower
are
is
trying to
under attack.
equalize that pressure on the other side of the map. But you could see you are, as you were talking about, I mean, just a tanky core, something that can stand in front of these pushes pretty decently.
Radiant's bottom tower. is
I don't
under
think Quincy
attack.
want to give up this safe lane tower. This is
No.
tower you want to fight around. Like, this Kunkka is happy to take this fight with both
Radiant's
level
bottom
8.
tower has
He is
fallen.
rushing that Orchid, so it wasn't the mid-Orchid Kunkka, but it will be Orchid nonetheless. And it's going to be pretty strong here if he gets it fast. Silence on the Puck, silence on the Ursa, even this Dawnbreaker for a long time. None of these cores are going to have the ability to dispel this.
Yeah.
Moonmeander is still only level 4. He has not gotten a huge amount out of this game. I feel like he had some decent space too, so maybe just getting slowed down by getting dragged into some of those mid fights and this Kunkka sitting top. It's not really a lane he can go to in
Dire's top
free farm.
tower is under attack.
He just gets one shot by Tidebringer.
There was that awkward rotation into the enemy jungle where Fada spotted him and killed all his Eidolons. I imagine that slowed things down quite a bit as well.
Dire's
But
top tower has
in the
fallen.
end, Quincy Crew do give up that top tower. Maybe it was the presence of Tomato that made them think better of trying to fight for that real estate any longer. But on the way out, Yuar is going to try and clear through some of these camps, and Bryle is going to spot him and maybe at least take some of that money away from Yuar.
Back to Pause Town or what, man? I'm getting flashbacks. Another fire alarm?
No fire alarms here. No fire alarms. We're good. We're ready to go. If not, you know, we get another 30-minute pause. We can talk about some of the other regions. What's going on there?
Step lively now.
Other
Your
regions.
admiral
Nobody
is on
cares about
board.
other regions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They care about the best region, Europe, and the second best region, China, and then NA.
And then, wait,
The actual
NA's
first
the
region.
third best region?
No, they're the actual best. They're just masquerading.
Oh, okay, okay. And where was Southeast Asia in that list?
Also first. Every region is the best in the world. So I don't get hate mail.
The mysteries remain.
Everybody's a star.
That's right.
Well, it's been kind of a slow game so far. With Quincy Crew not fighting for that safe lane tower, I thought that's where we were going to get our first big team fights happening. But both teams just kind of chilling, it seems like. Okay with the control that they have in the game and the farm that they're getting. I mean, TSM, they have an Enigma on their side, so I think that naturally feels good. Leslau, meanwhile, is almost level 10, is now level 10 on Timbersaw, has a Kaya complete, is going to be going for the Kaya Sanj, and that is kind of more of a carry-style Timbersaw build, right?
Yes. Which I agree with. And
On board.
TSM making the first big move here. 3-man smoke, double core, diffusal up on Tomato. No witchblade for the puck yet. He opted for treads. Kind of interesting. Pretty unconventional these days. I think it's just lower power spike damage output. But it will help him kill through the egg and refraction a little bit more, I guess.
Leslau had a pretty good read, it seems like, of that gank coming his way. And he backed out. They got a successful
Radiant's middle
scan
tower is under
on the smoke gank, and he immediately dropped a voice line just to let him know that he knows that that gank was coming his way. They are going to
He's
be
up
able to...
pretty far.
Oh, he's outside of the Saberlight ultimate here, so he will not immediately get stunned. Now with the extra movement speed, he's going to be able to jump away.
off
What a
the TSM.
dispose. Tosses back into Bryle. They do have the Winner's Curse laid down. That's going to be able to catch Quinn. Supernova explodes, though, and keeps the rest of TSM FTX taking advantage of that curse. And it looks like Moonmeander is going to be run down as a third hero hits the deck. Quincy Crew clean up that fight handily.
Your admiral is on board.
Quinn Jabate, he gets out of that Donalty, and I think the second he's out of that, that is not a fight anymore. You were chasing into boat, egg, traps, another set of potential refraction. Both the Quincy other cores and Kunkka and Timber come in on the backside. Happy to clean that up. again, TSM have to think about where's the early damage coming from in their heroes. This is a max Splinter Blast Wyvern, not a max Arctic Burn. So if he doesn't have targets to blast off of,
Quinn
say
gets
that,
himself
Quinn
caught
is,
again, and this time he is dead.
round
This
2.
time there is no bailout.
Alright, well, Ian, you thought he was in the same position, but that's a vastly different scenario. And now all of a sudden, boat down, egg down, TA down, Roshan down for TSM.
Yeah,
Or
but
is this
can they fight
contestable?
against a Timber Saw? That's going to be pretty dangerous. A really nice set of spells opening off.
Coil on
Saberlight. Coil out on the Kunkka, but looking to be able to chase down MSS at the same time. You are. He's getting torn apart by the Ursa, but it looks like with the extra movement speed, no, the Hammer's going to be able to chase him down. Mojo is now going to be slowed down as well. Chased down by TSM FTX. Well played by TSM. Kind of like forcing that Roshan and then being ready for the team fight. I mean, they knew they had a numbers advantage. No reason not to take a fight at that point.
Wait, they have Wyvern Curse back up. Again, no egg, no boat for that fight. DD for Bryle now. TSM abusing some of the cooldowns here. Some of the greed from this Quincy heavy farm lineup. Now they have Witchblade online. Now they have some of that damage coming out.
Yeah.
Level 7 Wyvern, level 7 Enigma. He's almost up the Vessel, like 600 away. That's the type of fight they want to take. Especially off the back of this Dawnbreaker, who's arguably their strongest hero by far right now. Full Echo Saber level 12. Saberlight's been cruising this game.
Yeah, I mentioned that this matchup of Puck versus TA feels a lot better at this point in the game with the Witchblade, right? Because it's an armor item, first of all, so 6 armor. You also have this damage over time that is going to be burning through the refraction quickly, so you can both kind of like burn through the refraction and man-fight the TA a little bit better. I imagine this matchup feels way better than it used to at this point.
For sure. I mean, I don't even think it's bad for Puck in this part of the game. I think the part where it becomes bad is later on with the TA shard and when she has BKB, and then it becomes kind of miserable. But this period, he's happy to take these early skirmishes. I mean, this is where Puck thrives. Not a lot of lockdown on the Quincy side. Remember, that's the downside of this lineup. It's all in this Kunkka Orchid and a Dispose. That's pretty much it. If there isn't some significant core stunned by those spells, TSM has free reign in the fights, as long as they execute it well.
Double damage.
Smoke down into the enemy jungle. Quincy crew not really finding anything. And also didn't opt to like try and push into mid lane and pressure that tower or anything. Instead, just head back to farming. And TSM FTX, well, now they're going to be the ones going for the smoke with a double damage on Bryle. Don't know if they want to go for a TA underneath the tower, but they will try and find
They'll
somebody
take him
else.
on the rune, though.
Oh, yeah. Get him
Is
away
Quinn
from
gonna
that tower
evade
area.
again?
He is not. Leslau, he's going to be the one standing in front, and TSM FTX clearly do not want to try and go for that. But they can try and go for the objective. Roshan, Quincy crew is going to be forced into a fight.
Alright, this is one they can take to have all their ults up.
Invisibility.
TSM jumping first, though.
Spotting the Timbersaw first. The Dawnbreaker
Timber's
coming in
getting
with the stun
melted.
as well. They have a really nice torrent. Leslau's only going to be able to get so far away, and the Spirit Vessel is able to burn him down. Meanwhile, they have the Orchid out onto the Puck.
silence.
He's going to take a lot of damage, and the boat is going to be enough. Meanwhile, the Black Hole going to be utilized to make sure the Marcy dies. Nice lineup there from the TA, but a Winter's Curse is going to be able to stall him out. Moon Meander just running ahead of the fire beams coming out from that Phoenix. Will be able to get back to safety and survive. But Roshan is not low enough for Quincy crew to take, despite what I would say is a one-team fight for them. I mean, they traded a core and a support for 2 cores.
I think Quincy's happy about that, though. They get this huge Puck kill with the Orchid. Anytime you can get that, slow down his item progression, accelerate the Kunkkas, and all their 2 damage cores in terms of TA and Kunkka living between the 1-2, they're going to be happy with that. The Timber Death, it's unfortunate, but you'll live with stalling up this Ursa Roche. Again, Quincy, their Roshan is, on average, probably going to be later than this Ursa. So anytime Ursa tries to do this and fails, he feels pretty bad about it. He's just getting delayed into a stronger TA timing that's coming out. Now, this is a Blink Dragonlance TA on her way to Deso. She's going to hit pretty hard here. And remember, she has the Egg and Boat Roam behind her.
Yeah.
Y'all are
Orchid
Bodhi
boat
mid.
coming in. Dubu is going to take a decent amount of damage, not enough to kill him. But
Well,
he
you've missed.
may end up walking into the trap. No, he's good. Oh. Mojo goes down in the top lane.
Bros are owning.
Bryle's getting run down.
Yeah, Bryle is just dead.
Has been killed.
All right. Stuns for what?
I-
Sometimes damage is enough to get the job done.
I guess so. How did he just die to that? Dubu kiting around Fada, but Fada had the dive still. And Quinn just jumps in from behind with the Blink Dagger, quickly finishes off Dubu. And now they're leading into a situation where they can hit this mid tower. They get that bounty. You've got a Deso. And once you have the Deso, then Roshan is a possibility for Quincy crew.
These two puck deaths are extremely pivotal in this game. On top of, I feel like these Dawn ults have been hit or miss. And every time one of these misses, again, he's their strongest hero. So if he's swinging and missing, some of these are adding up for TSM. And it's resulting in a 4 or 5k gold lead for Quincy, who is cruising to their next round of items here. BKB is almost out for Yawar. The Yule's almost out for Lazao. And Deso almost out for this TA. These are going to be some hard items to deal with. TSM does not have a lot of damage through the Kunkka BKB. Outside of Black Hole, and you smack him with Ursa forever. This is... We might be looking at a situation where Quincy's in it can almost smoke to try and take the fight into Roche instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
This Ursa does not want to lose the Aegis in this game, I'll tell you that much. He might be okay with it being still there, but he does not want it to go this TA's way.
Yeah. It feels like we could be kind of in the last hurrah of TSM's early game. And if they fail the next team fight, then they are in a very rapid decline. And I think they only really bounce back once the Enigma becomes a bigger factor.
They do have some split push to stall the game if they end up in a scenario like that.
Yeah.
You have this like Dawnbreaker puck, especially puck, can just be super annoying on the map. Wyvern can, you can start ratting up some waves. They agree though, this is Roshan attempt number 3, and once again Quincy ready to contest, running the Timber in. Early
MSS
dispose on Wyvern.
did manage to get the Blink Dagger, so he finds the opening onto the Winter Wyvern. They burst him.
Whoa,
30 seconds, no buyback.
shredded.
TSM FTX are going to try and reset here, but the Dawnbreaker pulled back in by X marks the spot. 2 down with no response from TSM FTX, and they're going to have to re-engage in a 3 versus 5 if they hope to be able to contest this Roshan, and I don't think that's possible.
Impossible. They just don't have an answer for this Timber running in. I mean, he runs in and nobody wants to go on him. That's a bad sign, because he's going to give vision to somebody, and the second somebody is spotted, Mojo has Blink, instant dispose, Wyvern's the best target. Suddenly that fight's just impossible.
Well, now with that Aegis, Quincy crew, I mean, I thought they were going to go for the mid tower, perhaps. They are going to be able to get off the Fire Spirits. The Supernova's out. The Dispose is going to be able to stop the... Oh, the Winter's Curse goes out. They still manage to kill, but the Winter's Curse leads into the Black Hole with a follow-up from Tomato, laying into the Templar Assassin. The first life of the TA is gone. If they can reset off of this one and get away from her, or are they going to re-engage? Tomato is kind of thinking about it. Slows him down, inhibits him with the Diffusal Blade. They do manage to get the Blink away from Quinn, though, so it's Quincy crew who are going to back down now.
The way some of these fights happen is just bizarre to me, but TSM is very happy to take that. I mean, Aegis gone, they don't have to worry about it. 3 kills on the backside of what felt like a game potentially spiraling out of control. I guess Fada is just up a little too far. He's trying to bait with this early mech purchase. A Fada classic.
Ooh, that's scary. The TA trap silence. They catch him with the Torrent and the Orchid. This Puck's game has become so hard in the last, like, 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, he is getting absolutely destroyed on the map right now, and he is not close to a Dispel item.
Mojo trying to find him, does manage to get the Winter Wyvern with the puck down. It seems like they think they can just go for this, but Tomato proves otherwise. He managed to kill Marcy and keep his Winter Wyvern alive. Moon Meander here, but not really a threat. No Black Hole for 2 minutes.
He does have Blink. He has Blink and Vessel. That's the one good thing going for TSM. This is one of those 4 core lineups. And the Moon is he's starting to push ahead in terms of the highly impactful items. I mean, Fada has a mech. That's great. But I guarantee you mech is not going to be as impactful as, Blink, Wraith Pact, Vessel, Enigma. These are very strong influential items in this game. And we're seeing the damage of this Ursa. Like, this Ursa will clean up the fight. He just needs to be in a position where his control is helping him instead of the other way around. Like you were saying, that's where this Puck's game is hard. It's hard now. Shard on the TA. Orchid's still on this Kunkka. He has no Dispel. He's getting Sunray here.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, he knows he has to jump to an orb to get out of here, but Leslau was ready to go. He was put in place to stop the first orb out. Bryle opted not to take it. The second one finally forced to, and he dies for it. Double damage on Quinn lets them take a mid-tier 2. Now they're going to try and chase. Catch some heroes. Mojo has the Blink Dagger. They're going to be able to send Saberlight back into the hands of Quinn. Saberlight using the ultimate to get out of there. Back to the base he goes.
Defensive ult's not what you ideally want to see. That double damage gave him no choice. And again, I think TSM's in a little bit of dodge mode. This Puck needs some answer to the silences. I don't know if he's going to get it, though. Quincy is taking over this map pretty fast here, and they're building a sizable lead.
Yeah, and I mean, the Ursa's also going to just be falling farther and farther behind. Nowadays, you go the Diffusal Blade build, which does mean your farm buildup is slower at this point in the game. Their heroes are getting picked apart by Quincy crew. It feels like it's very rapidly all just going to come down to Moon Meander. That again, that little silver lining for TSM FTX is the fact that he is getting farm, and he might be able to turn the game around with the right kind of black hole.
TSM need to find something. Maybe this Timber is...
Oh, that's awkward. Self-Yules gets him out of some of the black hole damage. He's still being torn apart by the Ursa, and the Coil's going to be able to catch MSS as well. So 2 quick kills for TSM FTX. The egg used, but Tomato goes for the TP. Oh, what? He got X'd. Yawar puts a stop to that one. I thought for a little millisecond there, I thought he canceled his own TP, but
looked
no.
Like it. I guess that hole was just 10 head, He just holds, so he baited Mojo in. And then they get the double off the Coil turnaround, so they find something on the map. If they can isolate these heroes, their damage is online now. It's not going to be an issue bringing them down. The issue is just the overwhelming 5-man from Quincy in terms of damage output. It's just very hard for these TSM cores to run into it when they're together. Those types of pickoffs are great for them.
Orchid, but no X. Yawar,
He's looking.
he just barely got out of vision before the X marks the spot hit. Might have been able to chain together an X into a Torrent off that long Orchid silence. Evans Halberd for Saberlight, trying to find a way to deal with Quinn, who is laying the beat down. He's at 17,000 net worth. That gap between him and the Ursa continues to extend. As you can see, him kind of setting up a trap right now, seeing if anybody's going to walk into the double meld hit. Especially with this TA trap, the silence. Bryle hits him with one. Cold Embrace immediately from Dubu. Really good read by him.
Still, there's just nowhere for him to go on this map.
Yeah.
He is being heavily restricted here. The space that TSM's occupying, if you look at this minimap, it's about a fourth of the entire map right now. Quincy has double jungle and full triangle control. You're going to get out-farmed in this position, so Moon's definitely feeling it. He wants to make a move. He has no hole for 70. The BKB is up on Ursa. Probably their best tool to come back in this game in terms of letting him commit in the fight, ignore some of this heavy spell damage for the early portion, and set up the fight for Black Hole or Curse. It's going to be their best bet.
And speaking of that, it does feel like the TSM FTX, because the early game didn't go well enough, they're very all-in on those 2 spells. I think I would have wanted to see Moon Meander go for the BKB route. I know Wraith Pact is all the hit right now, but I kind of feel like you just need to all-in on getting the best black hole you can.
The catch-22, if you all-in and Quincy can just find you on a trap and kill you first, I mean, that fight ends.
Yeah.
The Wraith Pact is more reliable impact, in a sense. Like, he can always drop it, rush it in. It's going to be annoying for the Quincy lineup if you look at... I mean, their heroes are just all damage, right? We talked about it in the draft. Phoenix, TA, Timber, this
Radiant's
Kunkka.
middle tower is under
It's
attack.
not a lot of, like, long teamfight utility. It's all just... We're going to ram our damage into your face, and you can't handle it. So, I can understand Wraithback being super high value in this situation. It's a hard choice.
Quinn catching out the Saberlight, had the TA traps already
Sorry.
set up preemptively. Saberlight has the BKB, so no problems here.
This team's smoking up here, though. I don't know if Quincy's going to expect this. He can
Yeah,
ult back in.
absolutely. They could still have a full 5-on-5. They will not have the
Wanted all their
BKB.
ward.
Well, it's a 4-on-5. They know the Timbersaw's in here. They see on top of their ward, get the instant pick off on Mojo. So they don't actually look for more. I'm a little bit surprised, but they still continue to play very conservatively around their own vision.
That was a nice play. I think that was probably worst case scenario in terms of they got Mojo and Mojo only. I think Quincy could have lost a lot more on that play.
Yeah.
Because that's a hard play to read. Like, this Dawn BKB TP's out. Your mindset is, oh, they've abandoned the area. But TSM was, like, pre-smoking up there with a high ground ward. I think Quincy maybe a little lucky to get out of there with only losing Mojo. You're going to be happy with that in hindsight.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, getting a core pick off would have very rapidly led to TSM FTX probably
Radiant's top
taking
tower
some
is
map
under
control
attack.
back, which they've been sorely missing.
I mean, it's just these traps. You're talking map control versus TA.
Nice read by Leslau. Jumps forward, gets the Yule's cancel onto Dubu. Meanwhile,
misses.
Dawnbreaker's going to go for the ultimate. Looks like a missed black hole from Moon, and the boat is going to be able to finish him off. And now Dawnbreaker has jumped into the wrong team fight. Saberlight is going to be popping his BKB. Can he get out? Quinn is going to deliver some physical damage, but it's not quite enough.
Illusion.
Absolute disaster on the map. Just this Timber finding the two heroes bottom. Maybe causing some commotion. Moon looks for this hole in the Kunkka mid. It missed. And then Donald missed. Just absolute pandemonium. The Rochelle spawn. Easy cleanup for Quinn. Now Quincy is in a very dominating position in this game. Again, the Aegis is very powerful in terms of dealing with TSM's big ultimates. Even this Ursa committal. This is the period where Quincy can think about closing the map out, going high ground with this Aegis. Like, your TA is... She's hitting her peak, almost level 25 as well.
UR got a nice little bonus out of that. Of course, the shard was already bought by the TA, so now UR gets the shard, and he gets the tidal wave, so not only a disarm against the Ursa, help with kiting him around, but also could keep TSM FTX heroes around the Supernova area, which is very key to these team fights.
Question is, can he use it?
Well, like,
You know?
physically click the button?
Is Yawar a practiced tidal wave user?
That is a good question. I feel like most carry Kunkas don't bother with that at all.
That's what
On the
I'm thinking,
side,
you know?
Leslau, BKB activated, and also he almost has a Shiva's. Wanted to update on that item pickup. He is farmed as hell. Leslau?
Nice curse 3.
Yeah, really good one. They are going to be able
Wish you
to...
had hole.
Yeah, there's just no damage, unfortunately, from those two supports. UR takes a little bit. They go to pop the
committing.
Supernova. They're going to go
Hey.
for it. Looks like they might be able to kill the egg, and they do manage to do so in time. Tomato with the
Nice
BKB
embrace.
TP out immediately.
He died to... He died to sideway? Maybe a shocker, but Lois is going to clean this one up.
Yeah, he is. He cleans it up. Fortunately, our Ursa just really can't commit past, getting that fast kill into the Supernova and then BKB TPing out. The fight was already a disaster.
Especially into this Aegis. Even if you get the kills, the
Yeah.
Kunkka's still full, the TA has another life. Damn, that's where you wish you had that black hole off the 3-man curse.
Oh, yeah.
You would have been lapping that one up. Instead, you're looking at probably a Raxing here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, you can see Quincy crew feeling very confident about their place in the game. Fishing for extra kills while they're going for this set of racks. There is the bottom tier 2 that is already dead. Also, the creep wave pushed in mid, so they can quickly deal with the mid tier 2 and open up the other lane of racks.
Why not? They
Radiant's middle tower
should feel
has
insanely
fallen.
confident with this Aegis, the AC, and Shiva's done. I mean, the survivability went through the roof. We're talking about what's actually going to kill these big chonkers in terms of Kunkka, Timber. It's pretty much Ursa and Dawn getting in there.
Invisibility.
Again, it all banks on... It just shifts more of the weight towards this Enigma getting huge spells off. Which, since he didn't go BKB, is just not a guarantee. It's hard.
Yeah, how does... Ursa already has a problem with TA because the refraction is like kind of matches and outdoes your overpower swipes that you get. But now he's got level 25 on the TA. So now you're up to 13 instances of damage. Tomato just cannot get through that refraction by himself. Somebody else is going to have
There's
to
no
do
way.
the work for him. Nice timing there. Leslau always has that BKB though ready to go, and that's why he's playing so aggressively. Saberlight is going to be perhaps pulled back in. He does have his own BKB. Looks like the Shard was able to defend him against the X.
Another okay disengage. That's another Donald down in exchange for Timber BKB. Again, Quincy is just pulling vastly ahead in terms of net worth to the entire map. Basher up on this Kunkka now. Fada's been pulling in some crazy net worth, almost up to an Ags. Even more survivability. Though his eggs haven't lived this game. You gotta be a little careful who you drag into those.
Okay. That wasn't the dispo. Oh no! Dubu. Okay, the dispose misses. Mojo literally clicked on a creep instead of a hero. Dubu thinks he
happens.
has to respond, blinks into a torrent, unfortunately, and, well, that just kills him.
That's life sometimes, you know? They're tipping Mojo is good debate.
Yeah, good work, good work. Quinn is able to blink away. Dispose tosses Tomato outside of the base. He's going to be forced to use his BKB, which really does not defend him against Quinn whatsoever. His damage is just out of control, hitting for 400 a hit without the criticals.
Aegis out in 10? No BKB on Ursa. You better pray for the whole of your life here.
Saberlight gonna pop his BKB. Leslau. Can they stop him from being able to get out? He may not even need to, in fact. Pops the BKB, turns, puts a little pressure on the Moon Meander before he jumps away. The Winner's Curse not catching
what he was
anybody
looking
there.
for.
Not at all what he was looking for. If he could have grabbed Quinn, it would have been probably a Mercy death, but as it stands, now it's just one more ability on cooldown as Quinn continues his assault onto the melee barracks.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
He's got more refractions than you have buildings left.
Radiant's
Something's got to change about this game, and pretty soon. You're
Mojo
down
goes
30K.
for it, does have the X to be able to keep him safe on these little pokes and prods that Quincy crew keep on gunning for. I mean, it's a nice way to be able to break open a base, right? Like, Mojo gets the
very
opportunity to pull somebody out of position, and worst comes to worst, you just X him right back.
Very, very disgusting combo. Marcy with a fail-safe switch. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, she's already got 2 of those, so.
I mean, Quincy's in cruise control now. 30K. The only way they lose a fight is off a crazy, like, 3 or 4 man curse hole.
Was that intentional? Was that pun intentional?
What?
Quincy cruise control?
Of course. You think I don't think of these? I sit here. I think tank him up. Somebody's got to compete with Lacoste, man. He's too good.
I see.
So I'm trying my best.
16-20, game 1 of this upper bracket final. Winner of this will obviously be heading to the grand finals. The loser will drop down into the lower bracket and probably be awaiting a team like probably Nouns or possibly Wildcard, or maybe we'll see an upset from one of the lower teams. But as it stands, I feel like it's very likely we see these 2 teams match up again no matter what the outcome is here.
Probably true, though you never know. Sometimes you get dropped into the lower. Start questioning a lot, you know?
Yeah, despair hits you.
Exactly. I'll tell you one thing, Moon's life just got a lot harder in this game.
Yeah, what's that?
Ags on Phoenix, So there's one save.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And Wind Waker on Lilith. Well, there's number 2.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So, good
Not
luck.
to mention he still doesn't have that Wraith back, so we can't even begin to talk about a BKB. So sitting on the high ground, just waiting for somebody to get a little out of position. And well, with a Marcy, the enemy is always out of position. Orchid caught again in the dispose. They do get the Winter's Curse off, but he was not able to get off the Yules to be able to get rid of that Orchid. Oh, he just gets 2-shot. 1,000 damage out from the TA.
Right.
They are going to be able
They
to
can
chain stun
stun
him pretty nicely here. He gets low.
Egg
Oh
save.
no, the Supernova save with the Yules onto Tomato. They can't commit to be able to kill the egg. They've just got to be able to get out, but they're going to make sure Saberlight is staying right where he is. The X marks the spot, holding him in place. Mojo looking for more. He's going to be able to grab Tomato here. Tomato turns around, kills Mojo, but with the Enrage and BKB soon to be on cooldown, there's not much left for him. He tries to fight through Leslau. Doesn't even have a prayer of being able to cut through all that armor. And that is going to be it for game 1. Quincy crew, I mean, that felt pretty controlled by them. TSM FTX, you know, it just, what, we basically had like 3 or 4 team fights. We're never able to make the Roshan work for them. And it felt like once Quincy crew got into their hands, it was, as you said, cruise control.
Those Roshans just didn't feel very natural. It was like they wanted to do it. They felt strong.